If you bought silver at the beginning of the week for spot price and sold it at the end of the week at spot price, you would be doing better than inflation. How's that make you feel about silver now? Well, it should make you feel pretty good because silver had a great week. There's a lot more to it than just that, and we'll talk about what happened this week and what's coming up next as we explore. One of the things I always caution my viewers is the very act that I engaged in at the intro of this video. You can pick any two dates and make any asset class or any commodity or any stock, bond, or precious metal and make it sound like it's a great deal, a great bargain, a good investment even, as I've noted at the beginning of this video. You can make it sound like it's really good or really, really bad. And I want to avoid that kind of talk that I just did at the beginning of this video because, you know, things can change in an instant and everybody's situation is different. However, the one thing that stands true as it has stood the test of time with regards to silver especially is that it indeed has outlasted the markets. Its value is something that transcends price, but we can celebrate, at least in part, because it is doing what it has done for thousands of years, improving itself with regards to its price. In other words, it's not a depreciating asset. And really, that's a lot we can say about silver because so many people have been burned on silver. I see it a lot in the comments. And I want to try to provide balance with the metal and with the understanding that it is not there to make you rich. It is there to preserve the riches that you already have. It is there to protect you against an inflating dollar. But you have to be careful with silver in that regard. And I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But let's reflect upon this past week. There's a piece from FX Empire that talks about how silver has been performing quite well. An 8.4% increase this week alone for silver. Yeah, that's reason to celebrate for those of you who have been cautiously optimistic about the metal. That's a pretty big increase, a pretty big leap for 1 week with silver. If you enjoy content like this, I hope you will consider pressing that thumbs up button down below. And I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel. I do post daily videos. I talk about the markets. I talk about the monetary system. I talk about economics. And precious metals is at the core of it all. So with this increase, which has been buoyed by investor speculation that the U.S. Federal Reserve may pause its interest rate hikes, and that's just it, investor speculation. You can speculate with the precious metals complex. People do it all the time, and that's part of the reason why we have volatility in the markets. And sometimes that can lead to wild swings in the price. The surge in silver, a traditionally non-yielding asset, comes as the dollar is weakening and treasury yields are low. Investors are closely watching this price, $25.82 mark, anticipating a potential breakthrough based on economic signals and geopolitical factors. I'm going to add in there, I think, technical analysis too, because that's a very specific price mark. I don't think we're going to get there by the end of this year now, even though I'm holding on to my bet, or not bet, but my prediction of $28 an ounce. It's at this point, it's mere wishful thinking, but I hope it does come true just so I can say that I've been right once in the 3 years that I've been doing this. But nonetheless, there are some economic indicators that have played a crucial role in shaping these market expectations. We have the unchanged consumer price index and a marginal rise in the core rate in October. Well, it's not unchanged. It went down from 3.7 to 3.2%. But we did see a notable drop in producer prices that have signaled weaker inflationary pressures than expected. Additionally, a rise in unemployment claims suggests a shift in the labor market, potentially aiding the Fed's anti-inflation efforts. What is the Fed doing? They are raising rates, trying to slow the economy, and that means potential job losses. But they're riding a fine line, and they have been for a while. But maybe the fruits of their labor are starting to come true now, as most people are factoring in now a recession come next year, by maybe even by late spring. Lower interest rates boost silver's investment appeal, as particularly as the price hovers above the critical support level of $21.92. A decline in the dollar value makes silver more affordable for buyers using other currencies, while the low treasury yields adds to its allure. Recent data indicating a slowdown in inflation has reinforced investor belief in a potential halt to the Fed's rate hikes, and that is what we're watching here the closest, I think. I think everybody, in fact, I talked about that recently, according to the Fed Watch tool. There's like a 99.8% chance that it's going to stay where it is now for the rest of the year, which is almost over here. Now, central bank demand is actually influencing silver's bullish trend here because of what they're doing with gold. China continues to increase their silver reserves as well, too. Central banks notably have stored gold, but there's other strategic reasons to add silver to their portfolio. That provides steady demand for the metal. Along with recent economic data points towards a market that is increasingly bullish on silver, investors remain cautiously optimistic with expectations of a dovish turn in Fed policy amidst subsiding inflation. They refer this to central bank demand, but I don't know of any central bank that stacks silver. That's news flash to me. I think they got that completely wrong. There may be strategic stockpiles of silver for use in industry, but nobody's storing it as like they do gold, and there's no reason to, I don't think. But the Federal Reserve's next meeting in December, the market is eagerly awaiting its decision on interest rates, but most know what they're going to do. And I think that's why we're starting to see the consolidation and solidification of silver's prices. In other words, I don't think we're going to see silver fall much below where it is now come next week. Now, as I record this video, mere moments before the markets close, I'm going to give you a little bit of a market report here. Gold is down only 80 cents. It's consolidating slightly, down 0.04%, which, by the way, is the same exact rate that silver is falling now. 0.04%, down 1 cent today to $23.81, but it was up higher again, up over $24 today, but it's pulled back a little bit. Although we should kind of watch and see how silver is going to react based off of what platinum and palladium are doing right now. They're both up, with palladium up over 1.6%. And we should also keep an eye on copper prices too, as to some potential of what silver could do next week. What is copper doing right now? Copper is actually down slightly. So all the commodities are down, save for uranium, all the base metals rather. And so we'll see how that plays out into next week. In other words, we may see a consolidation. But notice here, we're seeing it early, only very, very slightly as we head into this week. So that means that we likely, I'm predicting that by Sunday night, which is when the markets open in Asia, that we are going to see silver and gold fall, but not by a whole lot. If you want to find out and see that happen live, you can on this channel. We do a market watch every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, where we watch the markets zip by rapidly, and we track the prices. And when we do, we notice trends or things that occur. Usually there's a radical move one way or the other, and then it snaps back into reality, and we'll watch the markets move. Sometimes it gets exciting, sometimes it's not. It's always a good time because there's a lot of good folks there we can interact with on the lives. And so I hope you would join me then. But I think for next week, we're going to see gold and silver probably consolidate and fall a little bit, but not by a whole lot. Very interesting times we are living in right now. There's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty. I think that will continue to play out. Now, what I'm thinking about is based off the current environment for next week where silver is going to be. That could change in a heartbeat if there's a geopolitical event that moves the needle one way or the other. The thing we're watching right now is what's happening in Israel. If we see events unfold where another country gets involved, all bets are off the table. And likely we're going to see gold and silver rise dramatically, at least during the event that there is uncertainty before another consolidation period. So any kind of a little mini black swan that can make its way through the marketplace, we'll keep an eye on it. And that's going to move the needle. But I think for next week, we should be prepared for a consolidation of prices, as we're really essentially baking in everything that's happening geopolitically and domestically and with the Fed. And unless other numbers come out that say otherwise, I think we're on track now for a period where we're going to see the metals kind of bring about new floors, new support levels for both gold and especially silver. And what we're watching here for is a narrowing of the gold to silver ratio. Right now, it is narrower than where it was before. It was trading well above 85, 86, and even 87 for a while now, but now it's down to 83.51. That is still very high, higher than it should be in my view, which means that I think silver is undervalued. But we'll continue to press on. It's a good deal, I think. And so if you're making your buys, well, you just have to assess for yourself as to when to make that move. But I'm thinking that probably we're going to see it consolidate a little bit into next week. So let me know what your thoughts are about silver here. And I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.